I wanted to share a quick video about how I configure and use the IAF systems in the Sony A7 IV, specifically for wedding and event photography. Now, event photography is a very reactionary environment where you need to be ready to capture anything at any time with great accuracy and efficiency, and the Sony AF system is the best in that regard. So I'm going to switch over into stills mode, and everything is going to change, everything is going to look different. And I will show you how I have my camera configured, and I will add a direct download link in the description of the video if you want to download the DAT file with my settings, and you can load it onto your A7 IV. You can see all my settings and you can follow along with the demonstration. So here we go. Okay, so here we are in stills mode, and as you can see I have my camera in this side. Manual, I'm just shooting manual for this demonstration. My ISO is at ISO 500. This is kind of a hidden Sony thing here. If you don't know about the Sony dual native or dual base ISO, basically all of the Sony full frame alpha cameras since starting with the A9 I think have two gain stages, a normal gain stage and a high gain stage. So basically if so the base ISO in raw stills is ISO 100. If you go below your base ISO, you'll see these little lines, and that's your extended ISO. So you basically get two full stops of gain in your base normal gain, I guess. So 1, 2, 3, 1 stop, 1, 2, 3, 2 full stops, and then at ISO 400 it switches over into high gain, and I'm at ISO 500, that's where the exposure works. It's very important to have your ISO, the sensor sensitivity at an optimal operating in low light to get accurate autofocus. If you're trying to just focus in the dark and just blow it up with a flash, you're going to end up with mixed results. So it's very important to have optimal sensor sensitivity for autofocus. Everything else is relevant to your environment, my shutter speed, my aperture, however you're shooting, that's up to you. But in this case, I'm just going to show you my basic flexible spot is you can see I just have a little red square. I'll shut off some of this stuff here so you can see better. There we go. So I have a small red square that I can move around with my joystick. This is just flexible spot medium. This is what I would do 90% of my shooting in. It has eye priority. Now there's two different eye AFs. There's eye priority and eye only. This is using eye priority. So if I wanted to focus on something else other than an eye, I could move it. Say I moved it over here and I wanted to focus back here. It won't pick up my eye. It'll just pick up that. But if I move it back to my face, it will then pick up my eye. So you can see there's another box back here in the background. That's my registered focus area. And if I switch to that by hitting my center button, now I'm using my zone area. That also uses eye priority AF. This is just half pressing the shutter. I'll switch back. So again, my flexible spot, eye priority. My registered zone, eye priority. So now on to the fun stuff. I'm going to put some more stuff on the screen here. This is how it would look in my EVF. And on my rear screen, it would look like this. So as I use the eye priority, you can see the little green dot down here in the corner, where that is. And it says eye on target. So the next two ways I use this autofocus system would be with my back button controls. So the first back button I'll show you is the AF on button, which I have set for back button tracking. So if I hit this, you can see it uses my current AF area to detect what it wants, whether it's an object or an eye. This is also eye priority, and it'll just track it everywhere. and it goes into tracking wide. You can see that it switches to tracking wide. When I let go, it goes back to my flexible spot medium, tracking. I'm just hitting the AF on button with the remote, but it's the exact same thing that would be on the back of the camera. And then there's the eye only, which I will have to assign to my AEL button in my settings. And when I hit that, that's only IAF. That does not use eye priority at all. That's only IAF. Doesn't change anything. And the reason for this is because you can separate eye priority and eye only. So you can turn off eye priority and still use eye only. So let me actually do that real quick. So I will turn off eye priority, off. So now when I go back, my standard, anything that used eye priority will not use eye anymore. It won't detect my eye. But if I use eye only, it will detect my eye. So that's the reason for having two different IAFs. You have eye priority and eye only. So let me switch back. I pretty much only use eye priority on because it works so well. It's so good. And if I really need to get accurate on the eye, I'll use eye only. There's really not much more to demonstrate here. That's pretty much how I would do it for anything. And you can use, so you could use the back button focus to recompose images. You can use it to track moving objects. It doesn't have to be an eye. You could track anything. If I wanted to track this remote, I could just track it if I wanted to, or any object at all. It really doesn't matter. So yeah, if you have any questions at all, leave a comment and I'll do my best to answer the question. And thanks for watching.